Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are learning this truth from the well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the 1/3, the large multitude. Until I say shalom, come to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. And I'm entitled this one: People invested in this world are going to lose in the end. Because majority of the people upon the planet Earth are invested in this world, from putting all their effort, time, and energy into this current life, their careers, their 9-to-5s, their family, their wife, girlfriend, whatever it may be that, is having these people think that this current world that we're living in, this wicked ass world, is going to continue on forever. But ultimately, us to have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we know that we're not here to establish ourselves in a sense where we know that we're going to be here for generations on down, which we know that's not the case, because everything is pointing towards the end of this current kingdom being ran by the self-proclaimed white man, which is Esau Edom. Why would you want to live and so-called thrive in a wicked-ass kingdom? Because ultimately we're just here for punishment. We're here as a captivity, as slavery for sinning against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And ultimately we're given diligence to make our calling and election sure by putting this world off. Whatever desires that we had, putting that off to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in truth and sincerity, because a large part or a big part, of serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is to make your body a living sacrifice, in the sense that, whatever you got going on in the world, that comes second. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in this ministry, which the word minister means to serve, that's the priority. That's why majority of Jake, the nation of Israel, comprised of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they can't get with the truth, because now to fully serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, they have to put off certain things. They gotta stop so-called chasing a bag, which ultimately, we need jobs, to get our daily bread. But like the scripture says, give me poverty nor riches, just food for convenient for me. So as long as we have our daily bread and the necessities to be able to do this work, put out these lessons, Wi-Fi, phones, camera stands, whatever it may be, transportation to get to camp, class, that's all to be able to do the work. But wicked ass Jake and his kingdom, the 2/3, the rappers, celebrities, and even your average Jake, that may not know about the truth, and even those who know that they're an Israelite, a lot of them are invested in this system, because they truly don't believe that America is going to be destroyed by fire, by those intercontinental ballistic missiles. So in their mindset, they're like, nah. Some of them, they may believe in the prophecy, but they don't see it, because they've been blinded by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because he wants them destroyed. He wants to catch them like a thief in the night. That's why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is letting a lot of Jake, 2/3 to be invested in the system, because he wants them to be destroyed by that snare and trap, which that's going to be the case. A lot of Jake that's been putting all their effort and energy into this wicked ass system. 401k maxed out, stock market, stocking up on cash or ammo. And even Jake, who knows that there's an upcoming destruction, they're not preparing spiritually, they're preparing carnally, stocking up on ammo, food, canned goods, building a bunker. In their mindset, they think that that's going to deliver them, but ultimately, we know that the only way out is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Having Yahushai's blood cover you, hiding under the shadows of the Almighty. The rest of the shit here in the world is going to pass away. But that's what a lot of Jake don't get. you know, till it's too late. This is Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivered from death. And that's right. When all hell breaks loose, when Jacob's trouble starts, when the MOTB is made mandatory, all these riches that Jake has been chasing, you know, trying to chase the bag, trying to please their women, trying to go to college for who knows how many years so they could, you know, do whatever they wanted to do. That's not going to profit them when all hell breaks loose. Ultimately, the real stability, like it says in Isaiah 33 and verse 6, knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of thy times. You know, and the fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, fearing Yahweh Bashmi Shai, knowing to move with wisdom, because ultimately the time to get the wisdom now, to get the fear of Yahweh Bashmi Shai is now, not when all hell breaks loose. You know, you're supposed to be invested in the truth right now. You know, while everybody may look at it like, oh, I don't want to put my time and energy into that. How is it going to benefit me? You know, that's what a lot of Jake likes to say. Oh, the truth isn't going to pay me. But that's thinking carnally, because they don't see the end of America. This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And that's right. Love not the world, love not this current age being ran by this devil. How can you love this world when it's just ran in wickedness? You see wickedness all around you. You see 2/3 of your people completely gone and destroyed. You know, you see feminists and moles walking around. You got Esau, Edom, the white man ruling over you. How can you love this world knowing how it's really supposed to be ran? By the laws, statutes, commandments being pushed in the forefront, not, you know, everybody doing their own thing like that do as thou wilt spirit like majority of these people are in. Verse 16, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. Verse 17, and the world passeth away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of Yahweh Bashmi Shai abideth forever. In this current world, this current age, it's going to pass away very soon. You know, by those intercontinental ballistic missiles to utterly destroy here in America, which is going to lead to that lake of fire, and also the land of Israel to clean those gutter rats, those so-called, you know, J word, you know, the small hats, you know, to clean the land over there, because that land is polluted, but this land is polluted as well. How do you want to live in a polluted ass society? You know, that's Jake. You know, Jake is okay with wickedness. Jake is okay with the woman being over them, the women out of order, you know, the white man ruling over you. You know, Jake is okay with you know, being in his wicked ass, corrupted ass flesh, these chains of darkness. Ultimately, us of the hopeful elect, we hate this shit. We want out of this captivity, and ultimately we know that our salvation draws nigh. But Jake don't see that. That's why they're not coming into the truth and serving Yahweh Bashmi Shai in truth and sincerity. You know, they rather chase the bag, you know, be invested in this world, which ultimately that's gonna lead to their destruction. Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of wrath of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So when all hell breaks loose, all this Jake that's been investing in his world, investing in the stock market, Bitcoin, gold and silver. Yeah, you know, it's good to have some gold and silver, you know, when the dollar collapses. But ultimately, we're not setting our hearts upon that, you know, as a way to deliver us, like majority of Jake out here, these 2/3 of these heathens are doing. You know, their mindset is, okay, we know that this current system's going to crash, this dollar's going to collapse, but that's why we're so-called, you know, stocking up on gold and silver, because that's going to be the new currency. But we know ultimately when this devil makes that MOTB mandatory, All the gold and silver, physical cash, that's going to be completely done away with. And the only way to participate in this new system, to be able to buy and sell, is going to be by taking that MOTB, which majority of Jake is going to take it just to so-called, or to participate in society, to rent, to buy and sell, to go to the NFL game. That's how little it's going to take for Jake to sell, because they're so used to Babylon, they're so used to this place that they don't know nothing else. For them, this is the end all be all. This is as good as it gets. So Jake is gonna be the first one lined up at the sea hipping stations. It's gonna be nothing for 2/3 Jake to just go up there and give me 3 of them. Shit. That's gonna be the mindset of majority of the nation of Israel, comprised of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that aren't part of the elect. Because for them, this is their so-called heaven, which we know is really hell, because hell is a condition. The majority of Jake can't see that. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. So even us that are in this world right now, we use the world, but we're not abusing it. We go to our 9 to 5s, we pay the bills, we get our daily bread. We pay this internet bill or phone bill to be able to do the work. Using the world but not abusing it. Like majority of Jake Ayers is trying to abuse the world, covet, the newest car, the newest house, the newest gadgets, the newest gear, constantly chasing that new thing, because that's the mindset of Esau. You never have enough. Always chasing the newest thing, always wanting more, and never being content. Majority of Jake Ayers in that mindset, that Esau Edom vibration. Here Esau Edom has control of the whole world, control of the resources, but that's not enough for the devil. He wants control of the people in his full power. Seeing what you think, seeing what you're doing 24/7. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. So, we're here to be pilgrims upon the earth. We're not here to be established and chase the bag to so-called make generational wealth. Ultimately, because we know that this place is going to be destroyed. So we're not out here investing all our time and energy into this system that's collapsing, because Edomite can see that the system collapsing, but yeah, you got Jake out just completely lost, not knowing what the hell's going on. Verse 42, he that occupied merchandise as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. So even if you got a house, an apartment, you may have a business. Yeah, we do whatever we may have to do on a daily basis to get our daily bread, but we're not fully invested in that thing. We know when the MOTB gets made mandatory, when all hell breaks loose, we're gonna have to walk away from all these things. Maybe even have to walk away from our family. Which that's why a lot of Jake don't want to come in. They don't want to leave their women and their kids and whatever job they might have had. Verse 43, he that soweth as he should not reap, so shall also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. Verse 44, they that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. So you got Jake out here just planting all these seeds, all these vineyards, which it's a metaphor for whatever Jake is doing, businesses, maybe the stock market, stocking up on gold and silver. But we know that that's not going to deliver them. They're not going to gather those grapes, those seeds that they've been planting all their lives. They're not going to receive their pension, when they're 70 years old. That's a lot of a mindset of Jake. Work till you retire, and then you hit your 65, and then you get your pension. But we know that that's not going to be the case. This kingdom doesn't have that long. For Jake to work 50 years and then so-called get their 401k. That's how wicked this system is. You can't even touch your 401k or your pension until you're damn near in the grave. It says, they that marry as they that shall get no children, they that marry not as the widower. So even got a lot of Jake out here still marrying, giving into marriage, having all these kids. But ultimately, we know that the end, the majority of Jake out here, these 2/3, they're going to be utterly destroyed. A lot of them are going to perish by famine, pestilences, all these different plagues that Yahweh Shemel Shai is going to send upon the planet Earth. Verse 45, and therefore they that labor in vain. So you got Jake out here working their ass off 24/7, to get the newest car, the newest house, which there's nothing wrong with, getting a house or a car, but Jake is out here doing it for vain reasons, to so-called be seen by the world as somebody that got money. To pull Eve at the club, pull up in a Hellcat and rev their engine to try to get Eve. That's why Jake does what he does most of the time for these women, to impress the so-called these wicked ass women out here. This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. And that's what the elect, the hopeful elect, will be doing in these days. We're not laying up treasures upon earth where moth and rust corrupt. We're laying up treasures on in the heavens. Like it says right here in the next verse 20, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. And ultimately, Esau, Edom, he can't take this away. As hard as he's trying, to destroy the third temple, which is spiritual, that's ultimately why he wants everybody micro-seed. He wants to break through and steal, the treasures upon heaven. But we know that he's not going to touch the elect. The elect are going to be kept from the hour of temptation. But the rest of Jake out here, they're going to be given over to this devil. He's gonna break through and steal by micro-seed hipping 2/3 of Jake out here in America. Verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. And that's where our treasure is looking forward to the kingdom of heaven, not to continue here for another decade, 2 decades, however many decades, Jake thinks he got left in his kingdom. Majority of Jake think that America's going to continue on forever. You're going to have Super Bowl to 300. You're going to have another fucking Sexy Red and Glorilla 5 years. It's just madness that, this shit has to end. But Jake don't see that. That's why they were blinded by Yahweh Shemel Shai. This is Matthew chapter 19 and verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Verse 28. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, verily I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration of the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 29, here's a point. And everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. So ultimately, all the things that we've forsaken, all these jobs, careers, women that we've lost because we came into the truth, family members, friends that we had in the world, we put that off to serve Yahweh Shemel Shai. So Peter's asking a very sincere question, like, Lord, we forsake it all. What are we going to receive? But ultimately, the elect, they're going to receive the everlasting kingdom, the kingdom of heaven. the new bodies with the laws, statutes, commandments written in our inward parts, never to sin ever again, which is immortality. And that's what we're looking forward to. We're not looking forward for another the 100 years here in this corrupted ass place, which is America, Babylon the Great. We want the shit to end, because it's fucking hell being subject under this devil Esau Edom, the white man, being subject under the black woman Eve and all these different heathen nations. You got your own people coming against you. That's fucking hell. But yet Jake still wants to be invested, have to put all their effort into this place, not knowing damn well that this shit's about to be destroyed. That's why 2/3 Jake is going to be destroyed for not leaving the world behind and coming to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in truth and sincerity. For being too damn invested in this place. They're gonna get destroyed for picking the wrong investment, which was this current corrupted ass world, instead of investing in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is gonna lead to that salvation. But only the elect are gonna be invested and serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in truth and sincerity. The rest of these jakes out here, these 2/3 are gonna be caught up in the world till they get destroyed. But that's ultimately the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But that's pretty much the point. I pray this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learned this truth from the root well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the 1/3, the large multitude. Unto you I say Shalom.